Hey guys, welcome back to Laurence McKenna on the LFC channel, where I have a lot of thoughts. There will be a couple of videos coming out on Liverpool losing 4-2 to AC Milan, but there are more reactions than actual kind of match highlights out there. And if you didn't watch the match live, you'd be forgiven for thinking this was an absolute walkover of a game from AC Milan and that Liverpool got trounced 4-2. But the reality, and obviously not the clipping, are two very different things. And I've got to admit, guys, I will do some match analysis, and there'll be like a tactical analysis a little bit later on, but expect this for a very long time. To an extent, I'm gonna just call it, I'm glad that this Liverpool side have lost since spending that money so that we can kind of get that loss out of our system and not have to endure like a build-up of pressure and pressure and pressure, and then suddenly a storyline if we were to lose, which is to be expected because football teams lose all the time, that, oh, it was going so well and have the wheels fallen off. Because I think at every opportunity this season, we're going to have the Northeast sniping for us. We're going to have London because London always comes for Liverpool. We're going to have Manchester because jealousy is an ugly emotion. And there are going to be a lot of different accounts of Liverpool games. And it's because we've spent a lot of money over the summer. And also, we won the league last season, guys. Not only that, but it was okay when we were spending money on, ambiguous players, unoffensive players. Frimpong, well, we needed a right back. Bring in Kirkes. Well, we needed a left back. Bring in Wirtz. Guys, you're spending a little much now. I'm a little bit upset that you're getting good or better than you were, and you won the league last season. The insecurity begins to kick in for Arsenal fans. The insecurity begins to kick in for other football fans who realise those guys have got a good manager and they've got a good team. That could be annoying. So the only time that these people are going to get to dunk on us, because put it this way, having watched that game, boy, are we going to enjoy some of this football this season, is in moments like this. And yes, it is excruciating. Yes, it is slightly embarrassing for those guys. I just watched someone who called himself a professor just continually use the phrase life comes at you fast. There was another Arsenal fan, and it was brilliant. The guy said that Wirtz got hooked at half-time. It's these kind of things, guys. It's this level of delusion that we are going to come up against this season, because they need to be this delusional. They need to be this out of touch. There was a Sports Illustrated post. It wasn't a Liverpool post, a Sports Illustrated post saying, hey, going to strike fear into every centre-back in the Premier League. And the admin knew what they were doing, because the amount of people that quote tweeted it and went, well, he just did a 6.6 based on what Sofa scores say. Whatever 6.6 means. Let's dive into some of these performances. Let's dive into what Liverpool fielded. First of all, Liverpool fielded one centre-back. They also fielded no recognised striker, at least in that position. They did obviously field Cody Gakpo, and they did obviously field Mo Salah, and they did field Florian Wirtz. And excitingly, the combination of those guys was actually really good. I enjoyed the interplay between Wirtz and anyone around him. I enjoyed the interplay between Dominic Szoboszlai and anyone around him. I enjoyed watching those overlapping fullbacks. I enjoyed watching the midfield constantly just pressuring the ball off AC Milan. And yes, I think, here's the thing, right? A couple of days ago, I was going to make two videos. First of all, why Liverpool might not need Alexander-Isak, which, shock of all shocks, still ended up with the conclusion that we might need Alexander-Isak, because we've got Nunez and Diaz right now, and Diaz is subject to a bid, so therefore he wasn't playing in this game. Nunez is subject to an injury, and therefore he wasn't playing in this game. But we also lost someone over the summer in Diogo Jota, rest in peace. And we also are going to lose Chiesa in a transfer, leaving us Salah and Cody Gakpo. Obviously, Florian Wirtz is part of that front line, but we all know, guys, that based on, and we're not going to do based on average position, but based on where we've seen him play so far, that's going to be a floating number 10, not just a guy cutting in from the left. And our initial analysis on this channel, and not the analysis of some of those coaching gurus who told us he's only going to cut in from the left, was correct. Shock of all shocks, the people who watch Liverpool are the people who know about the tactics of Liverpool, and the people who watch other teams religiously are the people who are good at the tactics of those other teams. On to the centre-back. And I will say centre-back, because Virgil van Dijk and Konate were fielded at separate times alongside people who weren't necessarily centre-backs. Now, first of all, that is because Joe Gomez went home. We currently don't have another choice of centre-back, and Luke Stevenson, who is a brilliant player and someone who'll be very adaptable this season, is kind of shifting all over positions, basically just to put us in a position where we're just testing him. We're doing the Dutch thing on him, and it works. It's good, in fact. Tyler Morton, Gravenberch, Nyoni, name any of these centre midfielders who play deep, are not centre-backs. They can be cover. Endo, of course, can be cover, but they're not centre-backs. And I think that's why Liverpool will look to invest in another centre-back this summer, because guess what? We've let quite a few people go. Or we let Jarell Quansah go to Bayer. And we, frankly, despite the constant headlines of people saying, well, Liverpool don't need to worry about PSR because they've managed the finances so well. Doesn't matter if you manage your finances well. Doesn't even matter if up until this point you've only spent as much as Man City have spent between January and now. It only matters that you spent it in one consolidated amount and that you are doing it in order to be PSR compliant. That doesn't matter. What matters is the bottom line to these other fans. What matters is, well, by the way, our bottom line was actually pretty good. But what matters is the bottom line to these guys. What matters is, hey, I've got a number that I can use to beat you. And they are going to use that all season. The second video I was going to make was Liverpool's vulnerabilities and how Liverpool will be beaten this season. And I laid it out to another friend of mine, Sam Maguire. He's a great guy. And he jokingly said, why are you telling the opposition how we're going to play? But he did agree. And broadly, what I said was, A, target that player that is the initial outball from the goalkeeper. So basically, either one of the two fullbacks or that like six that sits between the two centre-backs, which we don't seem to be playing in that exact way right now. Guess what? AC Milan did that and they got a goal because Liverpool will be incredibly offensive. And guess how offensive we were in the second half? So much so that it's only the goalkeeper who's got an average position in his own half. Again, more tactical breakdown later. Break on Liverpool in those wide areas where you can focus on the fullbacks who are all the way down the field. Guess what? They did that and it worked. But guess what? We were not playing a formation which was playing towards those guys' strengths, and we were not playing in a way which we will play next season. We were talking about fitness. We were talking about focus on going forward. We were talking about, well, you know, if you want to play AC Milan conservatively, then sure. But go out there and enjoy your football. Go out there and do what Florian Wirtz is doing. Watching him between the lines, watching him break lines, watching him do it in combinations of 1-2 passes, 1-2-3 passes, little dinks over other people, just enjoying putting the ball around people, finding that space with whoever's around him is genuinely a joy. And it's something we're going to get to see a lot this season, guys, in the Champions League, in the Premier League, in lots of different places. And expect people to begin to put someone on him, which is great for us. Because guess what? He's not the only talent we're going to have in the team. Man marking this side is going to be a nightmare. Good luck. And the reason that people are, again, trying to dunk on us, or whatever the phrase is at this point, is simple. And we don't know this, but they think that this is their only opportunity to do that. They think that if they remove some of the wind from our sails, some of the momentum from our car, that'll just last forever. And that everyone who's come brand new and invested in the project, they'll just give up. Now, one thing I will admit is, I do still think we lack a bit of a midfield presence, shall we say. But that's probably because we're playing youth alongside Szoboszlai. That's probably because we're playing Harvey Elliott as our false 9 in front of the number 10 of Wirtz. And even then, that looked good, guys. It actually looked good. We'll talk more about that later in the tactical video. But getting all of these guys back, knowing who your squad is, and possibly giving this team the excuse of knowing that there is another big striker to come in. Ekitike didn't play this one. When people go, look at all the money spent this summer, we should feel some of that money, and then you can comment on that. Because up until this point, up until we started signing Ekitike and Isak, you went, good solid summer that. Yeah, not bad, not bad. You spent a little bit of cash, but you're about to sell, so that's all right. And they didn't think of the implications of what was going to go on at Liverpool. They didn't think about what we were really going to come and hit the league with. And yeah, like, I'm sure there will be moments where we question the formation or we question whatever, because we will lose. Every human side loses. And guess what? All sides are human. But what will happen is this team will begin to come together. And I do think that there will be elements of this side that are slightly distracted right now by Diaz didn't start this one, Nunez didn't start this one, we didn't have a recognised striker through the middle in this one. We do have Ekitike just softly training with the guys at the moment, going through his fitness moments and those kind of things. We are focusing on Alexander Isak, a guy who is a mercurial, generational, brilliant striker to come in at Liverpool for 130, 140, 150, 100, however many 100 million, will be compliant. And the amazing thing is that instead of focusing on, and I'm sure you can spin this wheel either way, instead of focusing on the fact that Newcastle are owned by someone who has unlimited amounts of cash and that we've been compliant for years and run ourselves cost effectively, all these kind of things, people are going to focus on Liverpool are stealing a player from Newcastle. They're taking him, and Newcastle didn't want him to leave. And yet a few weeks ago, what we were told was, no, he can leave if he wants to. Shouldn't he have his own decision? It's a weird one. It's a weird one. More tactical breakdowns later. Of course, I made a video privately on my Patreon. You can go and take a look at it, which is about what signing Alexander Isak actually means for the club and our self-image and our public image and our public relations. I will make a similar video to go here, but if you're really interested in the thoughts that we have on the channel, you're interested in some of the creativity behind some of the projects that we've done, then that Patreon is the place to go. Take a look at it. Take a look at the Discord as well, because that is completely free. And also, obviously, there's a super chat if you want to support the work that we do. I appreciate you guys, and I will chat to you in a little while. Much love. Bye.